Okay, welcome to another episode where I try to help you feel better. What sort of spurred me on to today is of how many athletes, incredible athletes that I've met that are in really great shape, and people that I've met that are in really great shape that have a hard time like sitting on the floor cross-legged or doing a squat, and it really sort of says to me that maybe that their body and their mind connection, using your breath is what we do here, there maybe is not developed enough. They're working. Today's video is sort of spurred by these athletes that I've met that are in great physical shape and are incredible at what they do, but a lot of them still have challenges with flexibility and opening up their body. And it's really linked to things of getting your body and your mind connection. Using your breath is something that can really help you in everything that you do, but especially sports. Prop yourself up. You want to keep, this is called easy pose. You're nice and straight. You're sitting on your butt bones here. Your legs are crossed and it's nice and natural. You might rest your hands on your knees and just sort of feel where your body is touching the ground. And the interesting part here is we're working on balance in yoga, which is what yoga actually means: unison, balance, togetherness. And you realize when you sort of pay attention to things that one side is different than the other. I actually find it quite fascinating that we have this. You've sort of built up strength, you kick one hip out all the time, one arm is stronger. That's sort of the way that we are. But if you can work on sort of opening up both sides and balancing everything, I really do feel that this can help you in everything you do. So sit at the back of your mat and cross-legged if you can. But what I want you to do right away is change your legs of what you would normally go cross-legged on. And it's amazing that this feels a little bit different, and you can feel how this changes a little bit of how you're sitting on the ground. It can feel better, it can feel more grounded. For me, it just makes me feel more conscious of everything that's going on. From here, I want you to try to sort of sit up straight, almost like there's a string at the top of your head that's sort of gently pulling you up. And every time you breathe in, you can expand things, and every time you breathe out, you can relax into that expansion that you've created. That's what we're talking about all the time. So sit at the back of your mat and just sort of check in. Check in with how you're feeling. You can move your head around. You can hear the clicking and popping. You can move your shoulders around. Which side is resisting a little bit more than the other, back and forth. You can feel how my right side is just a little bit more restrained than the other. I can feel that though my sit bones are actually pretty solid. So this is a good place to start. I've checked in with my body. I'm becoming aware of myself, becoming aware of your body, and I'm going to start now becoming aware of my breath. The first thing I do is I like to get rid of all this residual air. So I'm going to inhale everything into my body and get rid of all the air in my lungs, or all the air that I can get out. Now, we do diaphragmatic breathing, which is something that most people are sort of aware and what we could do. But to begin with, especially, I want to do the all three stage breathing. So it's starting from your diaphragm, it's opening up your chest, and then it's opening up your shoulders. And I find that moving my arms helps out with this. So if I breathe in through my nose, my belly goes first, my chest goes next, and my shoulders go next. I'm not trying to put pressure on anything inside, but I'm opening up that whole cavity. And then when I breathe out through my mouth, I can bend over. So let's do that 2 more times. In through your nose, really breathe in every cavity. And all the way out through your mouth. Once more. And all the way out. And I'm actually going to do once more for good measure. I can just feel it. and then back to breathing normally. And already I can feel my body sort of relaxing and opening up. And for me, that's a good thing. Now, the next thing I'll do is just sort of sit up straight, and I like to do this ujjayi breathing, which is a restrained throat breathing. It's like fogging up a mirror with your mouth closed. And we only breathe in and out through our nose. But I'm really focusing, there's got all these air spaces in your head and your sinuses and everything, and I'm gonna keep on using all that space to breathe in through. Still going through my lungs, I'm still getting good, complete, slow breaths going in and out, but I really wanna fill up my whole head and open everything up. So just practice that for just a couple of breaths. And feel as you breathe in, your joints expand a bit. In this case, my spine I'm sitting up a little straighter and coming back more a little bit relaxed. And now I've sort of settled into a nice, slow in and out. And already my body's calmed down and I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm going to take my left hand, put it behind my back, and I'm just going to take my right arm and I'm just going to look over my left shoulder. So when I inhale, my spine sort of goes up a little bit, and I exhale and I can twist a little bit more. I'm not pulling the twist, I'm allowing my torso to do it, but I'm sort of guiding and supporting myself with my hands. And then a nice big inhale, and back to the middle. I can already feel myself opening up. Now my right arm goes behind, just to steady myself, my left arm onto my right knee. I inhale and get some nice expansion in my spine. And exhale, twist a little bit, looking over my right shoulder. Now maybe you can't look over your right shoulder, doesn't matter. Maybe you're just looking to the side. Wherever that is, we're just trying to see where our body is moving and how it's moving. And one last inhale, and back to the center. I can feel myself just sort of balance, working on both sides. Even my neck is starting to relax from that. I'm going to go into this prayer position, which is a nice place to sort of feel that balance. I'm going to shoot my hands up into the sky as high as you can. Really stretch your spine. And then I'm going to fall over and try to touch the ground in front of me. I'm going to hinge at my hips first, so my belly goes forward, and then I'm going to let the rest of my body fall over top. And my goal here is to get my forehead towards the mat in that direction. And each inhale gives me a little more space in the spine. And each exhale, maybe I go a little bit more. So again, we're going towards sensation. We're not going towards, if it's not a mission to see how deep you can go, or deeper than me or less. It's just about going in the right direction. And inhale, just help push yourself up and back to that prayer position. Okay, now switch your legs around the other way, the way that you're normally used to doing your legs crossed. And let's just center ourselves up again. Again, go into that prayer position, nice and balanced. Inhale, put your hands above your head. And just stretch your spine up. And then inhale, hinge again at your hips. When you can't go anymore, let the rest of your body fall over and your head's going towards your mat. But look at how far away my elbows are from the mat. So I inhale, get some length in my spine, and then exhale. I can go a little deeper each time. And then inhale, slowly pushing yourself up. Again, it's not how deep you can go, it's about just creating that space. Now, we're in this cross-legged. Let's just roll over onto our knees. Put your feet on the back of the mat, and we're going to open up the backs of our feet. And that opening up of your backs of your feet, this sort of the fascia right here, just pushing back on that, just gently. Your hips are onto your heels or as close as they can, and you're just going to sit there and breathe into this. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, so you can ease off on it a little bit if you'd like, or this is super easy, like for my brother-in-law Brad, he finds this kind of thing super easy. He is an athlete too, and he works on his flexibility. But other people, this is incredibly painful, and it used to be really painful for me, for sure. And once I sort of get to that sort of relaxed state here, where the stretch is sort of less intense, and I can sort of sit there, I'm going to just go back and forth on my hands, and just sort of open up my wrists a little bit. And I might go into big circles to the point where I can feel my wrists getting oxygenated. So it's not discomfort, but there is stretch. Go the other direction. But there's no pain. That's what I was going to say. This is not about pain. You're not trying to hurt yourself at all. Pain in yoga, the idea of no pain, no gain has nothing to do with yoga. Let's just go the other way around with your fingers are facing your knees now. I'm still getting a stretch on my feet as I go, and I can just go back and forth and around here as well. And here I can feel my forearms getting a stretch. Again, no pain. It can be a little intense, but in a good way. And then the other direction. Okay, now I'm still stretching on my feet. They're feeling a whole lot better. I'm going to put my fingers facing the sides of my mat, at about 2 inches in front of the distance between the palms, and I'm just going to move back and forth and around in circles just to keep oxygenating these wrists of mine. Movement is how the oxygen gets to this. And they aren't blood fed like the rest of your body, in the same way anyways. So it gets moved. Okay. Maybe your feet are feeling pretty damn good now. Maybe you're impressed that your feet that used to feel uncomfortable is now actually feeling really good. And let's go over into a tabletop position. Tabletop, your wrists beneath your shoulders, your knees below your hips, and you're nice and stable, a little bit of a distance. You can stay on your toes if you'd like, but I'm going to come off my toes, and I'm just going to do a little bit of barrel rolls, which is sort of cat-cow barrel rolls. So when I inhale, my belly drops as much as it can, and my butt goes in the air, my head goes into the air. And the cat part is when you push away like a scared cat with your shoulder blades pushing apart, your chin tucked, and your hips tucked underneath. And then I incorporate a barrel roll into this. So I inhale all the way down, exhale, roll to cat, inhale to cow, exhale to cat. And then try in the other direction. So inhale to cow, so your belly's dropped, your head's up, and then exhale to cat, rolling around. Now already I can sort of feel things limbering up and opening up. Let's just check in where my balance is right now. I'm going to do an uneven tabletop. So as it is, you might suspect, in this case, your right hand's going to go forward a nice straight line. I'm going to feel nice and stable here. My fingers are sort of dug into the ground, and I feel good on the palm. And I'm going to lift my left leg back and nice and straight and hold everything off. Now maybe that's good. Maybe you're working on your balance. You can feel that you can engage your core. Now what happens if you put your elbow to the side and your leg to the side? Moving with your breath. Nice and straight again, and then back down to tabletop. How does that feel? You can tidy things up a little bit. Let's try to do the other side. So your left arm nice and straight in front of you, nice and stable with your 3 here. Now maybe you're not so stable and you just want to put your leg out instead. You can do that and sort of work on raising your leg nice and straight, keeping it nice and engaged. Or maybe you just want to keep your arm ahead of you, nice engaged, your shoulders engaged. Or maybe you want to do uneven and have them both, a nice straight line. At least I hope it's straight, I can't tell. And then your elbow to the side and your knee to the side. And then back to being nice and straight again. And then down on the floor. How's that feel? Check in with yourself, see how you're feeling. Maybe this is super, super easy. Maybe this is super, super challenging, or maybe it's somewhere in between. You can always go on to sort of more challenging videos, but you can also just perfect your technique here. Start off easy perfecting technique before you start doing handstands and crows and all these other balance postures. Working on something simple like this and getting it done really, really well can really help. Anyway, let's from here walk our feet forward, and we'll go to puppy pose, knees below your hips. Walk your hands forward. And again, the same straight line that we do in so many things, from your wrists to your elbows, to your shoulders, to your hips. And just feel your chest expand, feel your chest expand, feel your back expand, your lower back. Almost like you're getting longer as you're slowly breathing in and out. And one more big inhale in. And drag your nose along the ground. Keep your butt in the air. And end up at the top of your mat in this Sphinx pose. Now, again, maybe this is easy, maybe this is hard. If it's really hard, you're going to keep your butt flexed anyway. You can try opening up your legs even more, and that makes a little bit more room for your lower back. Otherwise, you can keep them hip distance apart like mine are. Keep that technique nice and well, so keeping your elbows away from your ears and sort of pushing up. So you don't want to be collapsing onto your elbows like that. But nice and easy and relaxed. And if this too is not sort of challenging enough for you, or you're feeling like you're not getting enough, keep your butt flexed and go up to a seal version of it. And seal versions are when you straighten your arms. So you've come off there. Keep your butt nice and engaged. That sort of protects your lower back. Keep your shoulders away. You're not locking up anything. You can test that by moving your head around. And then find a little bit of stability and a little bit of sort of relaxation. Wherever you are, and just sort of focus on your back maybe moving in a different way than you generally have it. If you feel like you're straining, go back down onto your elbows. If it's too much, you can put your head down right now, which we're going to do in just a moment. And you can just sort of wait there and sort of rock your hips back and forth to release everything. So wherever you are, one more big inhale in. And then exhale, relax down onto the mat, nice and slow. Your forehead can go onto your crossed over hands. And just rock your hips back and forth. Make sure nothing has frozen up. Okay, once we know that everything's loosey-goosey and all good to go, I'll do this broken wing. I'll start off with my left arm going straight out beside me. If you want a more intense, you do this sort of cactus version. If you want less intense, you can put your arm down straight beside you. For me, I'm right in the middle. I'm going to put my left arm straight out from beside me. Going to bend my right leg, and I'm going to roll over. I can use my right arm for help until my right foot goes flat on the ground. And from here, you just want to find some comfort there. You're stretching your back, nice little twist. You're stretching your shoulder nicely. Obviously, the intensity goes up, how much you roll over, so you don't have to roll over so far. Keep your foot flat on the ground, though. You can let it fall. And one more big breath in. And then roll over onto your front for the other side. Right arm straight out beside you, your left leg bent, and your left leg flat on the floor. And I'm finding that you're definitely getting a stretch and a twist and everything, but I'm finding with these twists and stretch is I'm not pushing hard into them. I'm letting my body and my muscles stretch and my joints stretch to their comfort. I find when I sort of go like, oh man, I can really stretch here and do extra, I can sometimes end up sort of like cramping up a little bit later. And one more big inhale. And again, roll over onto your belly. Just sort of make sure that nothing's locked up. Now from here, we often go up to a plank, but because we're talking about stretching and opening up and joining our body and mind in a real pleasant way, I'm going to have my toes closer together, my knees out a little bit to the sides of my mat, and I'm going to slowly push myself back to child's pose. So I'm pushing back, and I sort of go through this frog a little bit, and then back with my hips onto my heels, with a nice open in my lower back, and then my hands go forward, and my forehead goes towards the ground. And the name of the game here is keeping your hips onto your heels. If you wanted to, you could put your knees close together and put your hands behind you. That's another version of this child's pose. Or you can have your knees apart and you falling into that space between your knees. And if you want, you can raise up you go onto your fingers, and you get sort of an extra shoulder engagement. And one more big inhale in. Go onto your toes. Your hands and your feet are in the right spot to go into a downward dog. Click. And if you remember here, I don't know where you're at, maybe you jump into this downward dog really, really easy. For me though, I bend my legs a little bit and I work on that straight line from my wrists to my elbows to my hips to my shoulders, one straight line. Once I've got that, I can sort of just stretch out my feet a little bit, the teacher had said, walk your dog. I know where that straightness wants to be. And then once I got that straightness, I go up on my toes and send my heels to the ground as much as I can. And find a little relaxation here. There's still an intensity. And then I want you to inhale and roll forward to a plank. Roll through the plank and let your hips drop up to an upward dog. And then roll forward to a push-up, up the plank, and back to downward dog, all in slow motion. So we'll do that 2 more times. I'll talk it through once more. So downward dog, roll forward to plank, roll through it to upward dog with your hips dropping down, and into a push-up, plank, downward dog, all nice and slow motion, following your breath. Once more, inhale, plank, upward dog, push-up, plank, downward dog. Okay, and now let's just walk forward to the top of our mat and get ourselves into a squat. You might have to go on your toes, maybe you go into your flats of your feet. Find that sort of stability. Try to get your back as straight as you can. Put your hands together. I usually use my triceps to push out my knees a little bit. And working on that stability, that sort of strength. And straight back, or straighter. You want to roll out your wrists a little bit. You can feel those wrists. And then I'm going to put my hands down in front of me and sort of lean forward and put my butt to the air as much as I can into this forward fold. So keep my fingers on the ground and just gently straighten my legs, using my breath so my inhales create space. Now my hands go behind my back if you can. And for a seal version again, which is straight arms, I'm going to use that gravity just to help open up my spine even more. And inhale, slowly drop my arms. Roll up nice and slow to the top. Pull up your pants if you want. Arms above your head. And then back to a prayer position while we're up here. This balanced prayer position again. Your feet shoulder width apart. And then inhale, your arms go straight up. And then we slowly sink down to that squat if you can. And hands behind you and onto your butt. And then from here, we'll take it nice and easy for this last little bit. Grab onto your feet and slowly roll back to happy baby. And just roll side to side. And maybe your hips are even open now so that your knees fall sort of to the side of your body. If you want, you can just hold behind your legs. You can hold your knees, your shins. This is where it's comfortable for me. And just relax everything down. Make sure your head's not locked. Your shoulders aren't locked. You're relaxing into these stretches. And so, as opposed to cranking yourself into these stretches, right leg over left knee. Keep your foot engaged. That keeps your knee in line with your ankle. Reach through and grab onto your shin. Roll to the left a little bit. And then pull your shin towards your chest, which you can see is a long way away, but I can really feel it. This is the supine pigeon. And inhale, cross your legs all the way over. Roll to your left. One last twisted root stretch. Look over your right shoulder as much as you can, if you can. Really open up that hip the other way now. And then big inhale. Grab your knees, squeeze them to your chest. And your left over your right knee. Keep your foot engaged. Grab onto your shin. Lean to your right a little bit. And then pull your knee towards your chest. Just in the direction, again, my neck is nice and loose. My shoulders are nice and loose. I'm just breathing this to open up my hip. Cross your legs over even more again. For twisted root, the other side. Let your left arm fall open. Your shoulders going flat towards the floor. And you're looking over your left shoulder as much as you can. I don't know how much that is. Maybe it's not at all. Maybe it's a whole lot more than me. But again, we're not forcing. Forcing is going to make your body want to tighten up again. We're kneading the dough. We're stretching the noodles. And one more big inhale in. Roll back. Knees to your chest again. One more stretch, one more. It lines up your body and your spine. Put your feet flat to the ground from there, right by your hands. See how my hands can touch my heels? That puts me in a good place to do this final bridge pose. From here, we push up out of our heels. Use the top of our quads, use your butt. Tuck your shoulders under your shoulder blades underneath, and then push up with your hips. You should feel that in your quads. You can join your hands underneath if you'd like, or you can put them to the side for stability. But push up. Again, we're stretching gently. Don't lock up your neck. Find some comfort in that. Find some relaxation, and yet still, there's effort. And keep breathing through your nose. And up on your toes, hands above your head, and roll your spine down so it goes flat against the ground all the way to your hips. Once it's all the way down, squeeze your knees to your chest. Then your feet go to the corners of your mat, of your space. Shoulder blades tucked a little underneath your chest again. Palms of your hand facing up. And your breathing can return to wherever it wants to return to. Slowly in and out, relaxed. Sort of focus now on letting everything relax. Nothing strained. Maybe you're tingling a little bit from everything opening up. You could easily fall asleep right now. I'm just staying focused. I'll probably do a little meditation after this. I'll sit up cross-legged. But I'll let you do that on your own. Until the next time you're here, I hope you feel better. Feel better with me? Have a good one.